Hey YouTube, Merry Christmas for those of you who celebrate. Going to be looking at a members submitted team in the Ultra League. So I just want to give a shout out to some. We have some new members in the past like 10 days. I don't think I've shout out, maybe in 11. I don't. When's the last time I shout out? Harrice, and I've definitely done because I've done a few other videos. Joy Lark, Mel, Polo, and Vagrant. So thank you for the memberships. I see a couple level 2s on there. So send me your trainer code and I will add you in the game. So for those of you who do not know what the memberships are, basically it was just a way to kind of help this channel out. Think of it sort of like the YouTube version of Patreon. So level 1, both levels, level 1 and 2, I give you priority for analysis of your videos. So if you submit videos and link in the description of your battles, I will give you priority and analyze those. All level 1 and 2 members will have access to the members channel on my Patreon, not Patreon, Discord. And that's sometimes there I post easier when I respond to those quicker, but two, I also post some of the teams that I'm grinding with that I'm doing very, very well before I post videos. So give them a couple days to advance. And then level 2, I add you in the game. So if you want some Ottawa raids slash gifts, that is it. So the member is weezing. And with that, I forgot to open up what they said. But basically, well, I opened up what they said. This is, if you watched my top teams video the other day, dark double poison. And it was the last team that Rise submitted that I was like, oh, double poison. This is dark double poison. This is like a guaranteed one. But I'm like, oh no, that's not double poison. That is Clefairy. But this is a prime example of like how the dark double poison works. Basically, you have Galarian, Weezing, and Tentacruel, which are two insanely strong safe swaps in the Ultra League as poisons. And you have a dark on the lead with Guzzlord. And here we are. Now enough talking. Wanted to submit this run I had with this team. I used at the end of last season to finish at 2650. I've hit expert twice, but last season I struggled to learn the new meta, so hoping to get back this season. I know you talked about playing teams you're familiar with. Sometimes better results than the top meta. With these are all meta mods, the moveset is a bit unconventional. I noticed that. I noticed that there is Sludge Wave on Tentacruel, and usually you kind of run Blizzard on that, and usually you run Brutal Swing on Guzzlord, but I can see that you are running Crunch. I learned about this team from a Reddit post at the end of last season and decided to try it and found success with it. Now, after 2.5 weeks of Ultra League rotation, that was earlier, I found comfort using it. I was able to get some pretty crazy win streaks. It does have its flaws, and I still make mistakes, but each set, I feel like I learned a little bit more. A-Sand Slash will destroy the team. Oh yeah, A-Sand Slash is tough. Oh, you have Overheat, but yeah, it's going to be tough. As well as Drift and Closer. Yeah, Poison resisted by Ghost. But Weezing, you can get a shield, and then Tentacruel can, yeah. So thanks for the submission. Yes, this team is a very oldish team. Again, I tried to cover it in the top videos team incorrectly, but Galarian Weezing is your safe swap. Tentacruel's can work as a safe swap, is a little trickier. I would prefer to use Galarian Weezing as safe swap, draw out a ground, draw out a steel, and then try and chip it, or maybe flip switch, grab shields, and then Guzzlord comes in and beats it. And then, although it's going to have a problem with steel on its own, but steals are generally tough this team, which is why A-Sand Slash is a kind of a core breaker. But let's take a look at the battles and see how they go. Guzzlord into Greninja. So this is a good lead because they are water, so stay in there. Clefable, you have two answers here. This is, I guess they're both pretty good answers, but with the move set that you're running, this is the better answer here. So just going to take the Swifts. They does have access to Swift, which is a neutral move, but again, non-stab. This is not going to do much. You should be, now, I wouldn't be throwing here. I would be farming up a lot more. They just have such a terrible, terrible matchup. I'm surprised they shielded, honestly. They just have such a bad matchup that you could easily just take like 2 more Swifts here and just come out with a ton of energy, right? Look, you may even get the full farm down. I wouldn't go for the full farm down, but I definitely would have come out with more energy and then taking that and come out with some energy and taking the shield too, I guess. But they let it go. That's fine. This may come in and try for the aggressive farm down, but I don't know if they're going to get it. Yeah, they're going to have to just throw Night Slash. But that's fine. Get the Guzzlord back on this because all the moves are resisted. And out comes a Weezing. So now we have a mirror match and a kind of interesting one. Because you have Brutal Swing, which is resisted by the Fairy. And then you have an Overheat, which will lower your attack. So I think the right play is just going double Overheat. But it's really tricky. I would probably just go double Overheat. Yeah, I don't think there's any point of messing around. I think if they shield this, you may need to work around it a bit. But if they don't, yeah, this game is basically over. Just go straight Overheat. Yes, your attack is lower ×2, but it is just the proper move just to go straight Overheat here. Take it out, instant swap. This is a easy peasy win here. So going to Dragon Claw this. They're going to let it go because they have no win con. Why are they even staying in? Why are they throwing a move? Wasting all our time. But we'll take it out for the win here. Nope, they're going to go for a second charge move. What is happening? Okay. Guzzlord into Primeape. So tough lead. This is where Weezing Safe Swap should come in. Yep, so they're going to come in. They finally get out into Tentacruel. So now you just got to spam these Brutal Swings. With a half poison, half fairy typing, you are taking only neutral to their poison moves. Now, Fairy Wind is resisted on them. Brutal Swing is non-stab, just not going to do much. So you really don't have any chance of flipping this matchup. So at this point, you just kind of got to let it go. Try and chip as much as you can. Honestly, if they try for the aggressive farm down, it may even be better to just try and overheat what you have left here. Yeah, I would have tried to overheat just because overheat does so much raw damage and you don't get stab on either. And yes, overheat's resisted, but it just does so much damage. I think you try and go for that overheat boom there at the ending. Now they have a ton of energy. You know, Primeape has energy, so even if this is a blizzard, yeah, you kind of just need to let it go and just try and run with Tentacruel. So you do catch. Could be a close combat. Could actually, you're so low that probably is a Rage Fist. Yeah. I was about to say, you're so low that it makes sense for them to just go Rage Fist. And now, with an energy advantage and already landing one, they're just going to probably just go hard here and just 2-shield this thing. Which means you probably should not have shielded that first one because they're going to get to 4 here. So they're going to shield and just commit to the... Yeah. You got to know the counts. So first, like, you just kind of got to know the situation. They had like 6 to 8 counters or karate chops already. Pre this matchup, and so by the time this came in, this had 2 Rage Fists, which means they're going to outpace you substantially in the back end here. So you need to like almost let the first 2 go. But again, this is a lost cause. Like this thing is way too ramped up, and you're too low on health here. Yeah. Okay, pretty good lead. Claws resisted, Hydro Cannon's resisted. So just going to stay in this one. Yes, it leaves you a bit vulnerable in the back. They catch on a Malamar. Well, at least this crunch is neutral. Now going into the... Oh yeah, your poison is also taking super effective. You're poisoned, so these Psy Waves are super effective, but the Superpower and Foul Play are resisted, so that's fine. But those are really adding up here. So get this Brutal Swing off. This will take out from this range after the Fairy Wind damage. Back to Feraligatr. So yeah, just absolutely just start chipping away with Fairy Wind Brutal Swing here. I assume they'll try and commit to the farm down, so they come out with like an Ice Beam to threaten your Guzzlord. So gonna commit the shield. Oh, and throwing there, so that's not great for them. Because now you got a shield advantage, you have switch advantage, so back into Guzzlord. Or, yeah, honestly, you can come either. I think Guzzlord just because you resist the claw, but just gonna get a head-on energy here. Resisting all the moves, and then both trying an instant swap, and it is Zygarde in the back. So, I mean, you have super effective moves. This thing is bulky, though. Honestly, you have to commit the shield if you don't get to move here. Yeah. I would commit the shield to... And honestly, I'd throw the Dragon Claw right away. Just to put some pressure on this and put pressure on the Feraligatr to throw, because they can't Shadow Claw you down from this range. Yeah, so there's your... pressure there. They do farm you down, and they get to a move. Yeah, I mean, for alligators, every move is resisted. So I guess the moves from Zygarde, even though it's so defensive heavy, are more threatening than resisted moves here. And then you can just commit to the farm down with the poison jabs here and come out with a skull to end this here. Yeah. There you go. I think you're making the right play a lot of the times. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. Okay, so staying in here, taking some rollouts here. Are we going to try and catch? No, we're just going straight crunch. One and catch on the weezing. What are we going to do here? Nope, just going to take the move. The thing is, if this thing is running Shadow Ball, it's only going to do... Okay, see. I don't love this. I don't love what you're doing here. You got the double poison in the back, so you kind of need to draw something out. On the same time, you have a Lickilicky, which normally runs Body Slam Shadow Ball. If that's the case, the Shadow Ball is resisted on the Guzzlord, so you don't really need to shield up the Body Slams because they do not add up a ton, especially on a Guzzlord. If it's an Earthquake, that's a different story. And now it comes a Clefable. Why are we staying in here? Yep. Instant swap out here. Again, at best, it's a Swift or a resisted Moonblast. It is a Swift. Going for the bait here, hoping that maybe they think you have Play Rough or maybe you're going to have Overheat. And they do shield, so that's nice. And they're staying in. I think it's a good recognition that like they're staying in this matchup, which is generally not a good matchup. Fairy Wind resisted. At best, you have non-stab Swift. So I don't think this is a great matchup to stay in unless you're like pretty weak in the back to this. And if that's the case, your Tentacruel may have play in the back too. So landing the Overheat. Again, it's non-stab. It is a... Ooh. So you maybe should have banked this move because it's 2 times lower, so it's not going to do much. I know it's super effective, but 2 times lowered, not going to do much. And now they're probably going to shield this. Yeah, and now they could... I know you have shield advantage, but these claws are going to add up. You can't... No, well, I know you're trying to get it to a Brutal Swing. Okay, you do. Maybe this will chip. Yeah, because Tentacruel, without having Blizzard, you're really screwed. You kind of need it to chip. Yeah, Yeah. The thought process that's going through my mind right now. I think the first thought process is you shouldn't have thrown the first Brutal Swing that was 2 times lowered from your Overheat. I think you should have banked that. I actually don't mind. I think you're actually correct in coming back in with the weezing because Poison Jab, Sludge Wave, Scald is not going to take this out. You needed to chip this low enough. So you did chip it low enough. Not wanting to take any more damage here, just throwing the Scald. And what is in the back? Oh yeah, Clefable. Swift. Not enough. Will they get to 2 is the question before you farm them down? Nope. And you win. Okay. Okay, terrible lead. Instant weezing. Met with a Golisopod. So this is not bad. Overheat is also neutral because they're half bug, half water. So worst case scenario, you can launch that at the ending here. Liquidation's probably going to come in and chip you to the yellow. And the defense fault. Yeah, you're only going to get to 1 move. If they shield and farm, you're in trouble. But, you know, you got to risk it. Yeah, this is tough now. Because they're going to farm. They're going to get to a move here. And if they have X Scissor on this thing, which a lot of them do, that will be super effective against Guzzlord. Claws are resisted. But X... Oh, they... Okay, that is really, really weird. Why they would do that on a double poison. Like, they should probably know it's a double poison team. So giving up switcher. My only guess is, and then Annihilate. Okay, you're looking pretty good here, but I guess my only guess is if they swapped out. I don't know why they swapped out, unless they don't have a move for Guzzlord, but these counters are now going to add up. You got to shield this. You got to shield this. You cannot let it. Yeah, you cannot let a double boosted Annihilate on your Guzzlord. They even may shield and try for the aggressive farm down. Okay, you got to move here. And they catch it on the Golisopod. Maybe it's running Aerial Ace Liquidation. That could be the only case. But if it's an X Scissor, it's going to hurt. It is an X Scissor. I don't know why they didn't throw it the last time, but okay. Don't go in. Yeah. Don't go into your heart. These are like the first couple weeks of the season, so it's probably low elo range. But like, don't directly come into your hardest counter and switch lock yourself into that matchup. That's a terrible play. Okay. We have what looks like a maybe Thunderfang Steelix here. Which is why we are staying in this matchup. Steels are generally one of the tougher things in the back. They do have an Earthquake, so that is unfortunate. But Steels are, besides the Overheat, the Steels are pretty rough for the back line. So I don't even mind staying in this. Chip this low enough that you get to Brutal Swing. They do have Earthquake, and you know that, which would hit super effective. They also have Psychic Fangs, which is going to lower your defense and also hit super effective. So that is unfortunate. Cannot quite get them out. Can we get them down? Yeah, we take them out first before we get to another move. And it is a Drifblim, which, you know, you have Brutal Swing, so this is okay, but these Astonishes from a Shadow are adding up real fast here. Going for a second one. This will do a good chip if you can land it, and you do. Now, you can't really come Tentacruel because it's resisted, and they get a switch. You're going to instant swap here. Yeah, okay, this is good. Now, everything is resisted. My only concern is you're going to... I would, yeah, throw the Sludge Wave almost immediately here because you want to get this out. You don't want the Drifblim to get too much like farm to get to like multiple moves. I think you should be okay anyways. I think you can live, but if you're going to live, you're going to get Astonished down and then they're going to Icy Wind your Guzzlord multiple times. Okay. Or they're just top left because you got a pretty good matchup alignment. Okay, good lead. They switch into Lickilicky. And again, not having an immediate answer, we are just going to stay in and chip with Dragon Tails and Crunch. I'm surprised you're not... I guess you have Brutal Swing on Weezing and your Water on the Tentacruel. But Poison Jab is resisted on the Tentacruel on the Skeledirge. But just going to play out this matchup. I guess the double super effective Disarming Voice is more scary for the Guzzlord coming from the Skeledirge than any other moves that you need to worry about in the back here. I guess, yeah. I guess even the Poison Jab is resisted. So is Incinerate and everything but Shadow Ball, essentially. So live with like a couple HP, so keep switch. Incinerate's resisted, so you could do one more Dragon Tail and then a move if they come in. Very nice. Getting to the super effective Crunch. This will do good chip. And going in with Weezing, okay, I get it. I get you're like, I got a Brutal Swing, and this thing's basically in Brutal Swing range. I could take it out. But you don't take it out. And now the Incinerates are neutral, and the Shuttle Ball's neutral, as opposed to the Incinerates being resisted. And it's a Feraligatr in the back, so it's all for nothing anyways, because you got really nice alignment here. Scratch my beard off stage here because not off stage, off microphone because I haven't shaved in like a week and a half. I don't think I've touched the beard since like pre-Toronto Regional. I do that. I go like 2 or 3 weeks without shaving, and then I like just no, I don't take it all off. I haven't used like a razor on my like a blade on my face in like 15 years, maybe even longer. Okay, Galarian Weezing lead, which is really rough for Guzzlord. So coming in here, they are going to throw a move. Could be an overheat and bail situation here. And that is exactly what happens. They overheat and bail into a Tentacruel. So this is tough. Fairy Wind is resisted. You'll get to like 3 Brutal Swings, but again, non-stab from a Weezing is not going to do too much here. So you just got to chip here. Eventually get back into Guzzlord, but then again, you run the, not that it's a problem, but you run the risk of just having a Blizzard here. But with the Galarian Weezing lead, I don't think you really care. You just kind of got to let it go and just try and sweep a Tentacruel. And they just go Scald, so that's great. Just going to commit to the farm down. No, you can't shield this. This has no play. It is a Blizzard, but like, This has no play against weezing, so you need your back Pokemon to... Oh, okay, you're screwed anyways. It's a Drifblim. You're hard countered, so there's not much you can do. But you can't shield that Guzzlord. You need that Tentacruel with 2 shields to try and sweep. You have no choice. Feraligatr lead. Worry about Ice Beam. And it is an Ice Beam, and that does so much damage. That's unfortunate. So, going to chip with the Brutal Swing. Again, non-stab Brutal Swing. They CMP, so they're going to get a really hard-hitting Hydro off here. Going to shield the Hydro up. So, using the shield, this will take them out. And then again, a Tentacruel. Man, Tentacruel is... I mean, I'm not surprised. Tentacruel has been a pretty strong Pokemon in the Ultra League for a few seasons now. So going to just continue to chip with these Brutal Swings. They get off a move before you get to another one. Guzzlord is low, so these poisons are going to add up quick here. And they make a catch on a Primeape, a resisted crunch at that. At least you can get in with your Tentacruel and take resisted counters, or Karate Chops, I should say. Now you're not shielding up the first Rage Fist, and I wouldn't even shield up the second Rage Fist. You gotta wait for the third one here because you only have 1 shield. You gotta let this one go and shield up the third one. I also would start putting pressure on their shields. So throw here. No, don't farm because now you gotta. I would start putting pressure on their shields. Yeah, because now they're got such an health advantage and shield advantage. And they have energy too. I think you needed to burn that. You needed to burn 1 shield there at least. Trying to just farm down here, and now there. Yeah, they're gonna 2 shield flex on you here. And they scald you out for the 2 shield flex. Yeah, I think you need to like grab a shield on that Primeape there. So I'd say like. You definitely have potential. I think your write-up is correct. I finished last season at 2650. I've hit expert a couple times. Like I can see you in that range. I can see you in the 27-2800 range. Again, because I think you know like the basics of team building. I think you know the basics of how to use the team. But again, it's just a couple of those like win-con scenarios or like how to play out certain matchups, like when something happens that you need to probably work on. And again, I don't know how you like work on those because the ones I just was like, don't shield that one that you were hard countered. It wouldn't have mattered anyways. But like, don't shield that Guzzlord. You need to run to shield Tentacruel. You need to grab shields on that Primeape to put some pressure on, as opposed to just letting them go ham and just like take you out there. So there's just like little things like that you need to probably like learn how to play differently. But I think for the most part you probably know for a good amount what you're doing. But anyways, thanks for the submission. Yeah, so I'll do a Great League team this morning. Send me some battles. I don't know how many. Honestly, I'm torn. I have, my goal is to try and do 2 videos a day, but I don't think it's realistic with Christmas, with the family. Like that's an all-day thing. And then I'm doing, as part of why my family's here, we're going to 2 World Junior Games. They're in Ottawa. That's hockey for those of you who do not know. The World Juniors are in Ottawa, so we're going to a couple games Friday and Saturday. So I don't think 2 is realistic. Unless, and I look through the events, and like the one event I can cover is like next Monday. So with the views pretty low, I'll see how these Great League and Ultra League teams do, because I'll put out a couple anyways early. But like, don't be surprised if like on the weekend or whatever you just see like 1 video, because just like it's Christmas time, it's life, and you know, holidays, right? So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays for those of you who are watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.